For CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thanks for joining me on these weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. We have a fairly humid week with rain chances ahead, except for a break Tuesday, Wednesday, where rain chances fall off. Humidity might actually fall off as well. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Anytime you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. And yes, a few more rain chances tomorrow, but nothing significant. Rain chances rise again Thursday, Friday, and maybe into this weekend as well. But again, I want to highlight, kind of advertise the break from the humidity we might experience on Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe at or below 60. We might get into dew points in the 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Hello, Peter. Thanks so much for tuning in from Facebook. And then precipitation, again, the lull in the precipitation Tuesday, Wednesday, scant rain chances tomorrow, and then rising again for Thursday into Friday, maybe into this weekend as well. So far, you can see it's generally hit or miss, kind of potpourri type popcorn storms. Latest forecast again at CWG.news/latest. And yes, we'll have to watch your weekend plans as well. Peter and David, good evening. And here it is, the still fairly late sunsets that we have here, 8:36 p.m. I'm speaking to you now for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for following us on one or more of our social media channels there. And allergy sufferers, continued good news. The pollen is still on summer vacation, which I'd love to report is helping me feel a little bit better as well. So hopefully you are hanging in there like I am. All right, so rain forecast for the next 7 days. Generally chances along and east of 95 better than west of I-95. A third of an inch, generally speaking, maybe an inch in the luckier spots of downpours in the next 7 days. Perry, good evening in Fairfax. And David, indeed, we dodged a bullet with severe weather. I am happy to report we thought we would see a few more flooding downpours and maybe one or two instances of wind damage with wind gusts over 57 miles per hour. But thank goodness we did not see that, though I know I've seen from the comments on my latest forecast at CWG.news/latest, David, that many of you in the area wanted more rain, and at least there are some rain chances Monday, Thursday, and Friday this upcoming week. And we have noticed two things on the rain deficit. This is 14-day rain deficit going back 14 days with the percent of normal of what we normally would expect for the last 14 days. Two things you'll notice. Number one, look at that potpourri, the patchwork quilt of the warm season rain pattern. It's very hit or miss storms and showers. That is the primary source, for better or worse, of our rain at this time of year. So it has gotten a little more patchworky and quilted-like compared to when we last talked last Sunday on our Sunday Sunset Chat. And the second thing you'll notice is that we have more oranges, reds, below 100%. So we're running definitely a deficit over the last 14 days in the spots with yellow, oranges, and greens. Yellow, oranges, and reds, and fewer of the spots are in purples, greens, and blues, which indicates a surplus of over 100% of what we normally see over the last 14 days. Ruth Elisa, there are some rain chances on Friday. Early that morning, you might be okay. It's generally leaning Thursday and Friday for afternoon rain chances for showers and storms. Yep, Perry, you could use some rain for your grass. Paul, I'm sorry, you in Purcellville, you only got 0.11 inches there. And yep, Perry, typical hit or miss storms and showers. That's why we've got this patchwork over the last 14 days, this rain deficit map. But looking backwards 7 days, the last 7 days of rainfall accumulation, look at that. The same thing for the eastern half of the United States. So you're not alone in this possible perception that your neighbor 1 or 2 miles down the road, even a few blocks away, if you're in downtown D.C. or Baltimore, a completely different experience with needs for watering the plants compared to you might have no rain or a complete surplus of rain compared to your gardener friend just down the road. Here's kind of two maps in one for our current drought status. The outline there that I want you to pay attention to is the darker orange north of D.C. going up toward central Maryland and just across the Mason-Dixon line toward Gettysburg a little bit. One of the two, it's a level 2 out of 4 drought, so it's a severe drought, but the green patches in the region are improvement over the last 7 days. We are chipping away at some of this drought in the region, so that is the good news. And precipitation leaning some probability, slight to some probability above average for next work week as well. And temperatures, just in case you're curious, leaning above average for next work week as well. All right, so quick check of the tropics. In case you are wondering, we've got hurricane names. We're down to the D-named storm, which is Dawn. For if this in the next 7 days, low probability of development there in the central Atlantic, but that would be the region we might see a tropical depression become a tropical storm. And if it does become a tropical storm, it would be the D-name Dawn for this time of year. And air quality, a quick check. It's looking pretty good this upcoming through the middle part of this work week. Generally greens and yellows, moderate to good air quality. And the good news is smoke, if we do see a little bit, just a hair of haze for the beginning of our work week, it's elevated above the ground, the smoke. And so far we're keeping those big smoke plumes at bay up kind of toward the Great Lakes and southern Canada. We'll keep you posted as we go through this week to see if there's any smoke that might invade our region once again to kind of impede our air quality below moderate yellow. So far, though, no code orange is our forecast. Latest at CWG.news/latest. That's my PM updates. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. As you can see, rain chances Monday, Thursday, Friday. Those are also fairly humid days. But Tuesday and Wednesday, even if we're warm, we're pretty sunny. We get a break from humidity. We might even see a break below the 60-degree mark Tuesday and Wednesday. We might get some fairly dry air over this time of year in July. So we might not even feel that humid on Tuesday and Wednesday. It remains to be seen, though. And here's kind of an animation of the precipitation forecast, kind of simulated radar for this upcoming week. Very hit or miss. We take a break Tuesday, Wednesday, but again, rain chances pick back up Thursday and Friday with, again, scant rain chances tomorrow. And then looking at the weekend, we'll need to watch it. We do have some rain chances, and serious humidity may be returning again on Saturday. All right, so Mary, I do think there's a better chance on the 10th and 11th from what I saw for the KP index out of the University of Alaska for the aurora. I don't think this time of year there's a good chance of aurora getting down into the mid-Atlantic, but notoriously hard to predict the sun's energy from solar winds, so we'll keep you posted, Mary, if we do see anything develop with the aurora borealis, the northern lights. Yep, Mary, New York has gotten flooded about 7 inches at West Point. Radar is estimated maybe as much as 10 inches. Yep, flash floods around West Point. Please keep them in your thoughts. Check in on family and friends up there. Rosalisa, you're most welcome. And David, yep, we saw some ominous clouds in Silver Spring. Only sprinkles for some of us around the Beltway. No heavy rain despite those ominous skies. Annette, you're most welcome. Kristen, most welcome. And we've got Paul heading out on Friday. Rain chances are fairly average late that day, mainly leaning toward afternoon and evening rain chances on Friday. And it looks like it takes a slight dip on Friday compared to Thursday, Paul, so that's more good news as well. All right, heavy downpours according to Daniel and West Springfield. Yep, just a few blocks or a mile away. It's a very different story, hit or miss for sure. And Mary, NBC thinks there might be a solar storm on Thursday. That's awfully far out if they're thinking about predicting 3 days in advance or 4 days in advance. That is a little far. I would have low confidence with a grain of salt on that. But do check out the University of Alaska. They give weekly forecasts and 1 hour forecasts, and that's my main source to check the KP index, which is the main indicator of whether or not there are solar storms that could produce aurora borealis. All right, Paul heading to Williamsburg on Saturday. Expect very humid conditions with moderate rain chances. And, yep, it's going to be a wet one, Paul. Along and east of I-95, let me show you how the precipitation pattern is over the next 7 days ahead. Look at that. Down near Williamsburg, decent rain chances over the next 7 days, adding up to maybe over an inch down there. So keep that in mind. If you live along and east of I-95, your rain chances are a little bit higher Monday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend compared to west of I-95 this week. You could be a little bit drier on average. All right, let's look at our dew point scale just to tell you we could get a break in humidity. Tuesday and Wednesday is our break from rain chances and humidity, with maybe the dew point dipping below 60 briefly. For July, that's incredible. And then, let's see, we've got your daylight still decreasing behind the but very slowly behind the summer solstice. Still have 14 hours and 45 minutes generally around the Beltway in D.C. of daylight from sunrise to sunset. Thanks for joining me on these weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. On the air another 10 minutes. We're halfway through our weekly 20-minute chat. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I'm live on all three right now. I don't think I'm getting Twitter comments. I apologize. I keep reloading them, but I do see YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much for tuning in. And pollen update for allergy sufferers. Still on vacation, the pollen and spores. So I'm feeling good about that. Hopefully you are as well, fellow allergy sufferers. And here it is, the next 7 days. Again, favored rain area is along and east of I-95 through this upcoming next weekend. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Paul, you're most welcome. Kristen, you're most welcome. And Paul, there's a chance there's a front that moves through Saturday night, early Sunday, but it's too soon to say on the exact timing for weekend rain chances and any frontal passage. And let's see, if Rosalisa, if you can go north and west of D.C. toward darker skies, generally speaking, that's where you would want to view the northern lights. Mary, I love the thumbs up emoji from you there from Facebook. And we've got Charlene, hello in Pennsylvania. Let's see, northern lights have a slightly better chance in Pennsylvania than in Virginia from showing up later this week. Again, check the University of Alaska. I checked their KP index. It was not exciting until maybe later this week, but again, low confidence when looking at a solar storm potential more than a few hours out, actually. I mean, I've seen solar storms fade within an hour when I last saw, the only time I saw the Aurora Borealis. Paul, you're most welcome. Have a great week. Let's keep looking ahead at our rain deficit. It is still a patchwork here. The two things you'll notice in the last 14 days, very much hit or miss storms. We've got feast and famine within blocks or a mile apart because of the warm season are typical. And main rain source this time of year is hit or miss storms. We don't see shields of rain, which we see in the winter from larger nor'easter low pressure systems. And so far, no prediction of any tropical system with a shield of rain coming our way. So it's going to continue to be hit or miss. The oranges, yellows, and reds, that is a deficit in the last 14 days below 100% of what you normally see in the last 14 days. The good areas, the bonus areas, are purple, blues, and greens. Those are doing pretty darn good in the short-term rain department, over 100% of what you normally see in the last 14 days. And then looking back over the last 7 days, again, just hitting home, very hit or miss rain situation this time of year. And the drought, it does continue in our region, but look at the little green spots here. Improvement in the last week. We are chipping away at some of this, but that dark orange outline north of D.C. going into central Maryland and up into southern Pennsylvania, that remains a severe drought, level 2 out of 4 for a drought situation. So we still have a lot of rain to make up in the longer term north of D.C. up into southern Pennsylvania. And precipitation leans with slight probability above average for next work week, so that's some good news. And if you're curious, temperatures leaning above average as well. Rosalisa, sorry for the disappointing news. And Paul, thanks so much for tuning in. I really wish I could get Twitter comments to load. Sorry for Twitter folks if you're trying to talk to me. But I do see YouTube and Twitter, so that's great. All right, let's look at a quick tropics update. Fairly calm in the tropical Atlantic. Over the next 7 days, slight probability for some development in the central Atlantic. If a tropical depression develops and then is able to even develop further into a tropical storm, we will be on the D name storm, which is Don, D-O-N, for this portion of the season. We've already had Arlene, Brett, and Cindy already for this year. Quick air quality check, looking pretty darn good. At worst this week, expecting code yellow through midweek, which is still moderate and very good. No code oranges are currently expected, and that's because we should keep most of the smoke elevated well off the ground, and even then, it's vertically integrated with a very small amount for at least the foreseeable future into the middle part of this week. But of course, we will keep you posted at CapitalWeatherGang.com as we go deeper into the week, and we'll keep a wary eye on that smoke plume in southern Canada and the Great Lakes as well. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. That's my PM update. Anytime you need us, we're at CapitalWeatherGang.com. The week starts with some rain chances and humidity, but it's on the decrease tomorrow. Not a big deal tomorrow with rain chances, maybe a small umbrella if you have one, just in case. But Tuesday and Wednesday, albeit warm, it hits about average for Tuesday for July. Wednesday a little bit above average, but humidity drops and rain chances drop, sunshine levels go up. It's kind of a decent break in the middle of our week. Rain chances and humidity return on Thursday and Friday and maybe into this weekend as well. The break in humidity for Tuesday and Wednesday could be just a hint of humidity, still comfortable, kind of in the 55 to 60 degree range perhaps for Tuesday and Wednesday. Kind of remarkable for middle of July, smack dab in the middle of midsummer. Typically, our hottest times, I think, go through July 25th, 28th or so. So it is a welcome respite for 2 days of dew points below 60 degrees. And then here's just a quick animation of precipitation this week to give you the general impression of how hit or miss it is. You'll see the break here for Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chances rise again on Thursday, Friday, and into this weekend. Fairly quick hitting storms, and we'll watch the potential as another cold front approaches on this weekend, perhaps Saturday, for some stronger storms, but way too soon to talk about intensity, timing, and rain amounts or potential threats and impacts just yet. We'll keep a just small eye on this weekend for you as we get closer. All right, let me check on latest questions and comments from you. I'm Cameron Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Latest daylight check there, still 14 hours and 45 minutes. Our sunsets are only slowly getting earlier and earlier this time of year after the summer solstice. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm live on all three right now, and apologies to Twitter folks. I'm not able to get your comments right now, but Facebook and YouTube. And a quick allergy check here. We're on summer vacation, fellow allergy sufferers. Hello, Lewis. You're watching from Myrtle Beach. Enjoy your vacation down there, Lewis. I hope all is well, and you're not too humid in South Carolina, too hot and sticky down there in the south. All right, latest forecast again is right there at CWG.news/latest. Looking ahead over the next 7 days, still fairly hit or miss style to our rain situation, our showers and storms. West of I-95, a little drier. Along and east of I-95 have slightly higher rain chances coming up in the next 7 days. By the time you talk to me next Sunday for our weekly 20-minute Sunday Sunset Chat, hopefully some folks can get a third to maybe a full inch south and east of town of rain. Brian, I know you certainly could use some rain. Why was it such a bust for most of us? East and north was the exception. Definitely some heavy rain up toward Baltimore. I have been discussing this with the team. We're still thinking, I don't know if it'll deserve an update post tomorrow, but I think we had too many clouds today that held back kind of the convective development. And number two, we are just generally in a dry cycle, a drought cycle. And even though the data supported things, especially on the 3-kilometer NOM, weather model, we just really are having a hard time throwing out some of what we're seeing in front of us. It's kind of time and time again, too many clouds right before thunderstorms are expected to develop. It's quite a bummer, and we'd rather keep you safe. Hopefully you're not suffering from too much weather alert fatigue, but we are not going to withhold data and throw out data just because we know we're in a drought. When we see enough data, which today again we did, we see enough flooding downpour potential and damaging wind gust potential, we're going to continue to pass those alerts along to you, but hopefully you could see, especially in my latest forecast at CWG.news/latest, we try to take a fairly measured approach and something that would not cause anxiety and just deliver the facts to you as we could see them. It's similar to a medical forecast or an economics forecast. You want to avert the worst possible scenarios, but you got to, when the data presents itself, you have to present it to everyone just to make sure you can avoid the worst case. Now here's the last 14 days, very hit or miss. Deficit continues, especially over the last 14 days in the yellow, oranges, and reds. The wetter spots over the last 14 days that have experienced over 100% of what you normally see in the last 14 days are in the blues, purples, and greens. Longer term, we definitely still have drought around, especially in that orange outlined area north of D.C. into southern Pennsylvania. That is a D2 level drought, but the green areas are positive changes in the shaded greens over the last 7 days. We've seen some improvement, chipping away at some of the dry and drought conditions in the region, and it's going to continue. Looking back over the last 7 days, rain accumulation has been very hit or miss, a couple blocks away, a couple miles away. Your garden could be a very different situation from your neighbors. But the good news is, over next week, we should see leaning above average with slight probability for precipitation. And there's the latest forecast again. And looking ahead to next work week temperatures, in case you're curious, slight lean toward above average for the atmosphere with temperatures-wise next week as well. And let me show you our latest on the tropics. While I have that up here, the next D-name storm is Don. That's the next one on our list. Only a slight chance of development in the central Atlantic over the next 7 days. And here it is, air quality looking good for this week overall. Moderate at worst. We'll keep you posted if Code Orange happens later this week. Should, and it's a big if we do see that smoke plume from southern Canada and the Great Lakes head toward us later this week. But so far the smoke is staying elevated higher in the atmosphere, keeping it maybe slightly hazy but not affecting the surface air quality. All right, time for me to go. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker. Thank you for joining me. Lewis, you hang in there, and extremely humid in South Carolina. You hang in there with that. Brian, I'm glad you got 3.2 since June. I appreciate your understanding, and indeed a little bit of a deficit, and you're glad it's not getting worse. That's excellent news. David, indeed, we had a severe storm watch and a flood watch. And Chris, a break coming on Tuesday and Wednesday from our storming pattern. Humidity breaks, rain chances break, sunnier, warmer, less humid on Tuesday and Wednesday, so enjoy that if you're getting out for photography, Chris. And David, you take care. You're most welcome. I wish everyone a very good and safe week. Enjoy our break from humidity and rain chances on Tuesday and Wednesday, albeit sunny and hot. Pretty good, though, for the middle of July, our hottest time of year. Rain chances return for Thursday and into the weekend along with that humidity. Please check us out anytime you need us at CapitalWeatherGang.com. Bye for now.